All right, we're good to go. Hi, Rachel. She's not actually on there right now, but she will be watching it, so we'll get it. So introduce yourselves real quickly since you all have not met face to face.
I'm Yen. Hi.
I'm Will. Mazio.
All right. Obviously, I'm not going to use my computer for Trello, so let's get Trello loaded up. You mind just rotating your screen so you can see? Perfect. So we did not meet last week. So we're going to be sort of catching up across 2 weeks worth of information. First of all, just to go back over June goals and make sure that we're a couple of weeks in, obviously things are moving pretty quick. In terms of the Rethink curriculum platform, we had sort of added an ambitious goal of building a annotations and lessons search engine. Obviously, the search engine component of guided notes can no longer happen, given that you cannot search embedded documents because they're not a part of the actual document. So we still need to be able to do a search of lesson names, unit names, lesson descriptions, unit descriptions. And ideally when we do that, we will be able to identify results. So every result should have the same aesthetic, but then using either color or some kind of icon, probably color since we have these icons anywhere else. Identify this is a result that's a lesson, this is a result that's a unit, this is a result that is a lesson, but stemming from a ping off of an annotation, as opposed to the lesson title. So if the lesson title says simplifying fractions, and the person types in fractions, it should bring back the lesson, because that's actually the title, right? Ideally, it would prioritize lesson titles over lesson descriptions. Good? Yeah. We'll get into exactly what that looks like in a minute, but is that still a reasonable June goal? Yeah. Given that we still have the exit ticket page, the student landing page, the personalized assignments page, the exit ticket grading page, and the exit ticket result page, along with reflections and video.
Given how I have no idea what the back end search engine would look like, that's hard to say, but I feel like that's definitely a shot.
Okay. Would it be easier, or if I wrote the algorithm and then you plug that into the system? Okay. So let's tentatively, we'll break out weekly goals and tasks in a minute, but let's tentatively plan on, I'll take the actual algorithm. So you can continue focusing on the student landing page, and then we'll just embed it into the bar that's already been process the algorithm. We'll have to figure out how we want to do.
Do you want it to be able to, so just on any page you can start typing with your overlay?
Yeah, the only problem with that is we have the search bar already built into the content page. So it would be confusing to have a search bar that's just for the content page and then a separate search bar that's for everything else. But it should be in the menu bar. It should be
content as well.
No, the content search really just needs to be built into the content. So maybe the content search bar should not be in the menu. You know what I mean? So that would help delineate it from the global search bar by saying this is only, but I don't know where it would go.
Are you imagining the results of the search bar just a tiny menu? Not necessarily tiny, but the whole page.
I think it'd be like a modal of results, like 90% width and 90% height modal. Clear, so that it's clear that it's not a new page, but that it's not the page right. Great. Next.
To abstract existing software applications under one domain, specifically system memory, software, optimization tracker, lunch sorting algorithm, and focus app. And then this includes creating a stack and signal dashboard that is a starting point for all these data sets and all other data sets.
Right. And that really has just been simplified into saying the dashboard.
Dashboard.
we have not figured out how to embed the focus tutoring app or the lunch sorting algorithm into the dashboard. But we've done it for Lexile, and
So-
we are sort of doing it for the observation tracker.
And if you want, we can take some time like towards the end of June, once a little more of the dashboard has been completed, to go over the lunch sorting, like June board, and then go over focus and like clean up what we can, like we did for Lexile, and put it into. Because I don't think Lexile, when we integrated it into.
No, we did not. And I've since built out like the themes and styles. I totally refactored all of the JavaScript functions, so it's a lot cooler. I was really good at that. Okay, the other main goal in the curriculum site is just for the next 2 weeks while the curriculum writers are using the site to just be like incorporating feedback. However, in the product demo yesterday, the only bug that I found, and we went through most of the features on it pretty exhaustively, the only bug was just homework not saving. Have you fixed that, by the way?
Awesome. Sort of, yeah. I want to talk to you about uploading files, salted.
Why would you want to solve the name?
If someone uploads the same file for a different report, the file folder, you just rewrite that file, which may or may not be.
Oh, you wouldn't even have to solve it as much as you could just in like.
So like you could also put like a user ID and something like that.
It's a really good
also,
point, though.
like downloading it, you would want like whatever salt you put on there to be on it. So it's just that's just something.
So could you add to the file name just like a set of special characters and then that content, and then on you would just like.
Right now, like it's not finished understanding the hash of at the beginning underscore string getting out everything up to the underscore and then leave it out. Does that make sense?
Yes. Got it. All right. Next up, Rachel, this is the Trello board that I shared with you, by the way. So dashboard cards. Where are we at? I know that the May 29th, which is the last day before your vacation cards, we were still working on yesterday. How are we doing in progress towards those right
So
now?
I put one of them, I marked one as old, which was the school runner one, for the department IDs. And I have a call with Beth later today about the department IDs. If you look inside, like when you're in school runner and you click on the subject, it says like there's an English subject, a math subject, a science subject, and those correspond to the department IDs. And then there's an unclassified, and then it's all literacy 1, literacy, or literacy 1, literacy 6. So I'm going to see how I can get it classified, and if that looks like a power school error versus like an outlook error into school.
Even if you get this classified correctly, though, would you then just be using date ranges?
I would be
delineating?
using department IDs to get to the right subject, and then the quarters are all indicated inside.
Got it. But we're going to have to do the same thing. The curriculum team are doing quizzes each Friday. And we're going to create a special assessment type just for those quizzes. They'll be called like.
I already created it today. It's
Rock.
called weekly quizzes. There's not like very much information in them, but it's, you know,
But so we're still going to want to be able to compare.
a weekly quiz to. But then, so the assessment type ID for a weekly quiz is 8, and then the assessment type ID for interim assessment is 7, or no, it's 1. So then, if they're like, couldn't I just create like a PHP function that says if both are true, then then we would have a different, because we're not putting them all on the same graph until the end.
Right.
Like there's going to be one that's going to be placed and one that's in assessment, and then they combine.
I think my question is the department IDs. How will you?
Oh, the weekly quizzes aren't just by, it's like a whole.
Exactly. How are you going to separate that data out? Let's pause on that. I know we have an outstanding email with School Runner, and just make sure that when you follow up from that email that we get clarification.
Or
on.
it's actually like the regular one college.
Ideally, it's just the same assessment ID. That's the dream scenario, and it's just eliminated by school.
And then the other one, the survey goal,
Yeah.
I'm having a little bit of trouble with it. So I'm using, I can show you what we were doing here. This is survey results.
Yep.
So you have the get results, forget survey, and the get survey results inside this function.
Yep.
And I just added this schools, which is the survey access is the table that has the school ID. But I'm not sure that I set this part up right, and then I'm not sure like this is I'm not sure how to intelligently code for this school ID is like 5.7, but save all the results in this variable school ID is 584, 589, save all the results in this ID and then display it as well.
Yeah, so I think what you're going to want to do here, and you and I can set some time aside to dig deeper into this, is make sure that you sort by school ID here, which if you put comma null, and then comma, and you put down the column name, and then it doesn't matter if it's the same or descending, then it'll aggregate or sort by school ID. And that way you know that like until the school ID changes, they'll all be the same. And then you'll, inside of that loop, create a blank array that will be like the school name is the key, the school ID is the key, and you'll put each entry into that array. And then as soon as the school ID changes, you'll know we're at a new school now, and you want to like toggle back.
And I, so technically I'm a day behind because of May 29th, so day and coming back.
Yeah.
Half a day late. So I'll be doing some of the parts of the dashboard construction this weekend. That's why I started making them because it's already explored.
Got it. So the other major goal on this sort of dashboard project is the sort of aesthetics of integrating the dashboard into the shared curriculum site. I am working on building that page. I have not found a design structure that I love. So if you all happen to stumble across in any endeavors a template or layout of like a great dashboard, because there's a few like really good ones. Fitbit's dashboard is actually pretty strong. There is a dashboard, there's some nonprofit that focuses on female tennis players statistics. I know like it's a relatively niche thing, but they won an award recently for their dashboard, and it really is stunning. So anyways, like if you like in just like any context, if you happen to find like a structure that looks really good for a dashboard, like send it my way.
Is it like the general form you have or something?
It's just the design, yeah. You know, like I mean, I've got a couple of different things, but I just haven't found it. Like it needs to be pretty interchangeable because like something inside. And I want to get to a point. So when we set our goals for July to December of this year, like the next 6-month session, I want to get to a point where the dashboard is actually customizable by non-coders. Like you have like a list of graphs that are available, and a principal could just drag and drop which ones they want into like shell that then is what teachers see. And so I'm modularizing it very heavily. And so I'm trying to find a template structure that like allows for a much more flexible grid than just everything is like Col 6 or Col 12. Okay. Next goal that is due by the end of June is finishing putting objectives.
So I was going to ask you about that yesterday. Content
Yes.
team is meeting this week and next week, and they're making you objectives.
Yep.
Is that something that I should be putting like every day? They just give me a list and I put it in, or?
I think let's wait, and in the meantime, let's find out a script that once they get us the objectives, you're supposed to be working on it anyways, right? To be able to easily upload objectives. Yeah. So let's just make sure we have a script. We'll just get like a consistent template and make sure we have a script in it, process, strands, standards, and objectives, and embed it in the site.
Well, that's for rethink, and making a script for that is like not easy, but it's like easier than trying to do it for school runner. Because yeah, because the red technically is school.
Can you figure out what the template is for school? And let's just make sure that that's the template that you build for, so we're not like being.
No double.
No double entry, ever. Train all leaders and trainers. So training, you have a training scheduled with Rocky on the books sometime in July.
So, well, we talked yesterday, and the final outstanding, it's going to be slightly difficult to get all the timing right, but we're between me, her, Catherine, and all the ops people, we're really hopeful that we can get everything in, all the new users in, and then be able to just train them on how to use school. But if we can't do it for the 2015-2016 school year, we show them 2014-2015, show them what it looks like and how to do everything on that. It's not a huge.
So the timing problem is getting school runners switched to 15-16 before you have to train the trainers and leaders. So is your first training session just with the school side trainers, or are principals asked to be there too?
Just the school runners.
Okay. And then when it comes time to teach principals how to use it, is that going to be us, or is that the school runner deputies?
It's me, deputies, and master.
Got it.
I don't know if us, I don't know if you meant us.
Yeah, we should definitely be there.
Yeah.
So the sequence of events is you're going to train the deputies,
Including Rocky.
and Beth will be there. Then you and the deputies together do a training with the PALs. And the deputy training and the principal's training is just one sit down, right?
And I wanted to do it differently because there have been lots of questions about whether or not school runner is customizable by school, can you,
Yes.
as I'm sure you know. So I wanted to talk to the deputies first, who were nominated by their PALs as being very having data on their mind and being very having a lot of, I guess, forethought. And so they would be able, having worked in the schools, they would know what the schools would need better than I would. And that way, before the PALs even come to the table, they'll have already customized it a little bit.
So Robbie is working on something called a decision-making matrix. The key of this, and the reason I'm bringing it up, is that there will be certain things, and this is just as Republic is growing, there are certain decisions and data points and actions that schools can choose between. And there are some things that, as a school of Republic, all schools must do. And it's less about control and more about where do we have to be consistent. So an ongoing conversation in our organization right now is, should a student's grades be purely academic, mastery based, or do we include participation in that? This is a conversation that different people feel differently about. However, for the sake of having comparative data, all schools have to be the same. It doesn't really matter from our end which they do. Of course, as data analysts, we probably lean towards the just academic mastery side of things. But what's important is that the data matches. And so when is your session with the trainers?
That depends on when Rocky gets back. She sent out an email to them asking when they offer back.
I would send an email to Robbie and just say, when we do our session with the trainers, we're going to be illustrating features in School Runner that can be customized on a school-by-school basis. Ryan asked me to reach out to you about a decision-making matrix to see if there are certain things that are school-based customization, but that we don't want schools to customize, so I can include that in the training.
There's when either of us sign in as super users and are editing the dashboard, there are two columns. So one is Republic schools, and then the other is whatever school-based it is. There are, in the Republic schools column, you can always choose that the schools can. So
that's so awesome. They're so good. You can customize the customizability of the website. School Runner is so good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm assuming the trainers, the deputies, will manage the school level training with teachers. We're not doing that. Great. So ensure setup and order of all computers. Not all, so all 2-week staff, like our director of operations, are on vacation technically, or they can be. Not all computers have been ordered. Liberty is ordering 17 Lenovo's, not Yogas. They are taking 3 that are left because Mississippi already took 2. However, the other 5 teachers at Mississippi want Macs, but I don't think it's been ordered yet. Lee has not ordered the Macs for Nashville Prep, but if there is any principal that I'm not worried about making sure that the teachers line up the Macs, it's Lee. And Deisler has sent emails to all the teachers asking their preference and hasn't offered it. We should send a follow-up email this week, making sure that orders are placed by the end of the week, because Josh has to get them set up. OneDrive is tricky on Mac. I spent a good amount of time this morning on the phone with Microsoft clarifying. Now, I will say that they are rapidly getting OneDrive working for Mac. Not that that's like exactly what we want to hear, given that we have to leave training for people in 3 weeks on how to use it. It won't be deployed until quarter 3 delivery date for them. So, not synchronizing on Mac. So, did a very polite conversation with the Microsoft vendor, and he was very kind. We worked through what Microsoft can do and what Microsoft cannot do on Mac with OneDrive. Right now, the web app version works on a Mac just fine. You can always create a folder on your computer and install OneDrive for Business, which is different than OneDrive. Do not, this was the mistake I originally made. There is a OneDrive app for Mac, but that is not OneDrive for Business. And so if you install it, it will sync personal files, but it will not sync files that are set up through your business account. So there is a separate program called OneDrive for Business that you have to download, but it's not on their website. There's a hidden link to get to it because they technically don't support it yet. When you install OneDrive for Business, then it will sync your business files. However, it will only sync files and folders that are your files and folders. So Liz, the director of the curriculum team, has a folder called Curriculum. That is going to get shared with all of the teachers, and that is where the shared curriculum team put their files. No teacher can synchronize any of those folders with files on a Mac. Now, you have to remember that as frustrating as that is, that looking at other systems like Dropbox or Google Drive also have their own impediments. One, Dropbox, you can't interact with anything, which is like incredibly limiting compared to Microsoft Online or Google Online. Google Online can't edit or work with Word documents, and I would say 95% of our teachers right now love Microsoft Word. So, like, every system has limitations. This is not a big enough limitation for us to be able to do like something completely different. But we just have to brace ourselves and be able to articulately explain the intended functionality of the web app. Because all of those shared materials they can access through the web app. They just can't synchronize it locally. Now, the final part of this is if you want to upload a folder. Monzel has been graciously transferring files one at a time because you cannot upload a folder in the web app version, which is a shame. You can upload a folder through the OneDrive for Business app. So if you want to add a folder to an existing folder that has been shared with you. So Liz Mullins creates the curriculum folder. She shares it with Haley Morton. Haley Morton now has a folder that's curriculum material shared by Liz. Haley wants to upload a folder of unit materials. She is on a Mac because she's at National Prep. She will have to put the folder in the OneDrive folder on her Mac. It will automatically sync into her OneDrive account. Then she will have to take that folder and move it into Liz Mullins' curriculum folder. She can't directly upload it there. It's not actually that bad of a workflow. It's just unintuitive and therefore means it has to be very clearly articulated to teachers through training and then through ongoing support in the first month or two. So brace yourselves. This will happen.
This isn't possible, but if they all had virtual machines, who goes on that?
That could work. However, the impact of installing and managing a virtual machine with Windows, it's not like we have gotten off the server in large part so that people on Macs don't have to do that.
Yeah. So they,
The guy I talked to today, and he shared a document with me.
it would be like a user virtual box. It would just be like that set.
Right. He shared a document with me from Microsoft. This wasn't a verbal confirmation. This was a document that Microsoft has published that said shared folder syncing will be deployed in quarter 3. Quarter 3 ends in October. So this is not a long-term problem. So I don't want to install a permanent sort of workaround for a short term. But it's a very good idea. If we didn't have any reason to think that it would ever change, that might be a deployable option. But I
That
think,
also might be expensive.
and there's that, and there's that. So we're going to run with it. We're going to focus on the web app. Ideally, people are using the shared curriculum platform so much that there actually won't be that much like back and forth on inputs. Okay, those are our June goals. Those are all the things we need to have done by the end of June. These, when completed, will mean that we have successfully hit all of our 6-month goals, which are also due by the end of June because it's the end of the first half of the year, which is pretty crazy. It was like last week that we were on a retreat in Mississippi studying these. Well, for kicks, you should go in and read the bullet points that you probably have not looked at since you wrote them down in January. It's actually very inspiring to look at how incredibly on point the actual,
This one's from
they were due, that's the due time, not when they were added. All of this was added in January. So it's a fun read. Let's not do it right now, but it's a fun read to go through and like, because we had just that week decided, hey, we should make a shared curriculum platform. And then we sat around for 8 hours in Mississippi and came up with an entire vision for what the platform would be and wrote it all out. And so now, 6 months later, with it being used, I think it's cool to go look at it and be like, teachers might find it useful to be able to drag and drop standards into units and like things that like actually wound up being pretty spot on. Okay, let's look at weekly priorities. And I think we're going to try, given the time, to merge the process of creating new priorities with closing out our old ones, since we did a pretty thorough thing of the June goals just now. Weekly priorities on shared curriculum, Trello feedback system, which is created. You have not linked it to the existing site. You just need to build the link for it. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to put that, I have a bar of links for teachers on my dashboard login page. We'll put it there, and I already have it built. Implement feedback from shared curriculum demonstration, that's done. Everything we got from the first round, which is what that was referencing, is done. So I'm going to mark both of these as done. Get my Windows and my Trello. E in Microsoft is archived. Because that's how Microsoft rolls.
the last letter of that word. That makes so much sense.
Okay, next week priorities. So shared curriculum, you're taking off tomorrow, Friday, and Monday. And our next meeting will be Wednesday. So we are effectively, in terms of setting goals, are you planning on working all during that time, or are we just going to set like the pacing of like what's left today and what's Tuesday?
I'd rather do that.
Okay, yeah, that's totally fine, of course. I just don't know what, yeah, that's weird. What, you're supposed to be getting me a shell to build the calendar page on it. I would really love to have that before you go on vacation, so I can get it built while you're on vacation. Is that doable to have that done today? What are you working on right now?
I'm finishing up with Klaus.
I'm going to archive all the cards on deck and in progress. Given that most of those were somewhat not accurate for the sake of demonstration.
So when you say shell, you just want general like layout with some CSS, and you want the objects created for you.
Yep. Okay. So again, you mind typing the cards in on this? So the weekly priority is going to be to build a calendar view for curriculum writers that synchronizes with the days that teachers input on the lesson page for when they will be teaching. That is the priority. And then task to meet that priority by end of day today. By end of day Wednesday the 10th. William Anderson will have submitted to Ryan York the shell with all ready objects for me to build the calendar. And then the next task is I go and build the calendar. Is there any interaction that the curriculum writers need to have on that page? Or is it just a view? I guess they need to set, I guess it would make sense.
Should be like an actual calendar.
We haven't really addressed unit assessments. No, it will not be like the January calendar app. It will be just like a set of divs that I create that takes the min and max value and then evenly divides the number of days out and creates a grid based on that. That'll be way easier than trying to like integrate into the existing calendar app. Yeah. I think. Check back with me in 5 days and we'll see if I return that.
It should only show like one at a time.
I just wanted to show like, here's the first day, here's the last day, and then each day between. It's just a grid. Right.
Oh, okay.
So so like if the first day
It's
it's,
distinguished between
I don't care, yeah.
okay.
It'll have the date on there. So let's say, for example, the first day is August 1st and the last day that a teacher is scheduled to meet is August 15th. Then it'll just be like, it'll like break it out, right, into 3 rows, 7, 7, and 1. And then it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it won't, what it won't worry about is putting days of the week would be really easy too. Yeah. Just like the day. Okay. User activity, we haven't talked about unit assessments. Is it I don't think it's the vision of, I don't think I want, there's an argument to be made that the curriculum writer should set when the unit assessment is, because ideally those would be taken at the same time. However, like things happen at schools.
So unit assessment currently is just like notes. Practice.
Yeah, it's the end of the unit test. It would not, but it would have an assessment. We actually really need to be able to create a separate type of assessment called a unit assessment. It's different from that.
Yeah, so that's the velocity.
Okay, I'm going to get the student page done. Could you get the student page done between today and Tuesday? Just like before this time next week?
Sure.
Okay, second goal for curriculum is to finish the student landing page. That does not include taking out assessments. That's just the landing page that has a date picker, homework. Don't even worry about including personalized assignments right now. Date picker, class of students enrolled in, homework for those classes, exit tickets for each class that's unlocked by the teacher, and resources in the packet. Will you go in on the Rethink curriculum board where you're breaking things out and put your tasks there for that? Again,
Okay, so then the next weekly priority will schedule on that next week.
did you get the automatic backup schedule?
It's not external. It's backed up on the server itself.
But if the server crashed, the backups would go with it. So we need to get an external backup of the databases.
Do we have our cloud service set up? Or do we use next year?
No, but that would be the intuitive place to put it. Will you add a note as a just, don't even make it a priority, just put a note that's a card that's on deck to check with Josh about using, we have a 1 terabyte data backup system right now. It's a cloud-based system. I wonder how hard it would be to just pump SQL backups over that data. Will you just put a note in there to check with Josh about?
PHP has a function for execute, it allows you to just execute functions and just perfect.
Okay, thank you. All right, what's next, Ian? Perfect. So next week, what do we gotta do? So let's head over to your timeline. What is that? What date? So today's the 10th, so 17th would be the next meeting. We'll, instead of putting on deck cards on artwork, let's just do it here. But let's, I have the capacity to help out somebody, so let's figure out real quickly what is going to be most efficient or valuable for me to help with.
I've found that since I've started working on this, the database structure is becoming easier and easier.
Awesome.
And then, like the nightly export from SchoolRunner into the database is fine, like as long as I have the postman set up. I'm still having some, like I'm just still having trouble
Sure.
writing out the PHP.
Got it.
So that's like where I could use the most support.
For the
Or
exports, are you talking about like to get it from the CSV file into a database? Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's take, what card is that? What card needs that? Probably this too, right? So let me look at my calendar. Let's put some time on the books this week to do that. So we put that down, create schedule for daily export SchoolRunner data, quiz database. Say what? Oh yeah, of course. All right, so calendar. Let's cancel our teach like a training. Teach like a champion training tomorrow since Will won't be here. And let's use that time instead to work on PHP conversions of CSV and JSON data into MySQL databases. Yes, so to delete it, there's actually not an edit button. Fascinating. Okay. Interesting. Well, let's say 2 to 4. Does that work for you? So DB, there the DB data transfer.
CSV, JSON objects.
2 to 4. Perfect. I'll share it with you once I'm on my computer. This is a hassle here.
So it's like the database structure, I'm mostly like what I do is I build it out in SchoolRunner, and then I get it from Postman.
Yep.
And then I go,
No, it's fine. I mean, it's actually, you just now have to convert that to a curl function in PHP, and then you have your JSON data. You do a JSON decode PHP, and it converts it into an array, and you work with it like you would in your data Yeah, that's exactly right.
This is a long, very long book.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I know, but.
Yeah, no, that's what we need. That's great. And it gets us our data. Because now we just do like nightly transfers and it's just all in our system. And we're not trying to mess with all of these like variations of AD headphones. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. So what else? So let's put my name on that card. Yep. Create CMO view weekly quiz data.
It's like the same thing again with like.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like we're going to talk to the school survey data.
Yep.
All values.
Unfortunately, I know my schedule today is like I literally. Well, I do. I have 1 to 1:30.
I have the call.
Got it.
Dang it.
No, that's fine. Do your best with it today.
I think I just wasn't when I was originally looking at it. I think I might just have to do a shoot off of this function that
Yep.
gets these schools, and then I can figure it out inside of here. This is just the student survey, and the only school data that's in there is Liberty right now, and then it just displays all of like the average. So it's all of students. But if I have a different found it by school.
Right. So you're going to have to, instead of just passing the school, because right now, how is
All
it?
we're passing in is the quarter. So like quarter is 4, and then this type is student survey, this type is or this type is staff survey.
So it's not delineated by school. Got
And
it.
we had it like that for a while, and we changed it for to make this easier. Send it out.
Interesting. Yeah, you definitely need to go through access, filter by school, and then your data should be broken out into just 3 different arrays. And then each of those arrays, you'll put in to a JSON object and pass those in to the high charts.
So
object.
that's why I thought it would be a lot easier, and I just had trouble with the like filtering and then keeping all of the school data.
Yeah.
So,
The good thing though, I mean, that's really hard to do. The good thing is once you do it once and you start to like map it visually, you'll be able to get the hang of it, and then suddenly everything else is way faster. Tomorrow I am free from 8 to 9, so if you haven't gotten that done, let's meet and get it done between 8 and 9.
I have nothing tomorrow or Friday.
Great. All right. Now, 11, database structure, double definition of homework. That'll be easy. That'll be easy. These should be easy once we do the one on Thursday and you get strong with the PHP, the transfer from the API. Mhm. So that's Friday. Got it. And hopefully
And
this will be.
I'll be doing all of this on the weekend.
Yeah, and these aren't going to be particularly elaborate graphs. It should be pretty simple to pull that data apart. Build dashboard structure to handle attendance.
That's good. I think that attendance was not resolved in that last email, but I'm not. So I consider these resolved.
So let's do 2 sessions on Friday. Let's do an 8 to 9 on Friday. And then let's do a 1 to 2, maybe a 12 to 2. I like breaking it up into multiple sessions instead of doing one longer one, just so that like, and you like learn some new skills and have a few hours to work on. Okay, next.
This is
And I feel good with that. Okay, so let's pause there and add my name. Is that, and then the attendance is the other thing that I'll probably be involved with, especially the hourly stuff. Great. Okay, let's get back to the main board. I feel good with what we have there. We'll put time on the books on Monday based on what we're at on Friday. So priorities here, complete all dashboard cards for the week. Survey. So give me the rundown. This is incredibly frustrating. You communicated to operations staff the targets
Did you read the email?
that you forwarded me. No, I haven't looked at it yet. But I know you and I thought, like, I know that there's like, that it was clear, right? So have you talked to anybody in operations or Rocky? But like
I just like, I got back. Yesterday.
26 parents at Liberty.
I
Do we know what the turnout was?
No, that's the other thing that I wanted to ask. Before I like started pointing fingers in a manner, I wanted to say like, what was the attendance? I know that like Q4 is always the lowest. Like not very many parents attended. You know, they don't have their kids aren't in school, so they.
But surely
Yeah.
26, not 26%, 26.
27 responses out of 300.
So we have to be strategic here. I don't, I mean, it's done. So I don't want to like.
I think it was also, so I got that phone call from Lee that was like, the Bitly link is not like when you go back, everything is already pre-filled out. And so I had to like change that. And that was 4 p.m. Seattle time, which was like 6 p.m. here. And I wasn't sure what time the our pickup was.
Right.
So I was just like, well, shoot, if you guys are calling me now, like, I cannot even imagine what's happening.
Right.
So a lot of that is probably my fault for just not putting the.
Well, but this, I mean, they just like there. If you close the tab in the survey and go back to the link of the homepage or on the desktop, like it doesn't pre-fill.
Right.
So like it's a pretty low lift of problem solving to get around. Like acknowledge like it shouldn't do that, but like it's not like the internet wasn't working. You know, like it's a pretty like. So I like once again, I really think I don't want it to be a negative exchange in terms of like why, because it's done. Like there's nothing we can do about it now. We can't retroactively go back to people with summer.
That was the, like, I haven't talked to Devin because he's came back, it's gone.
Right. So I think that like we just have to do even more work around like having buy-in on the importance of like knowing how our parents feel about our schools. Because if the people on the ground responsible for executing those surveys realized how vital that information is for the decisions that we make as an organization, then they wouldn't have let a situation occur where literally 5% of people answer.
And I honestly was pretty frustrated when I saw the original survey results. I saw them yesterday and I was like, I will do this tomorrow morning because it's
Yeah.
like, honestly not. I have so many other things that I have to do. But I very specifically remember this week, I sent out that email and it was like pretty long. And everything that I asked for, like action by a certain day.
No, I know that your communication is
But then like I only forwarded you Devin because I specific like NACS has not ever really been a problem with their parents because they only have 90 of them, you know. So I specifically talked in person to Amber and Catherine.
Yeah.
And I just know.
Right. Sure. No. So definitely the goal moving forward is making sure that people have a pretty heavy buy-in on the importance of key parent voices like impacting our organization. And then part B, National Academy of Computer Science percentage was great. Their total number was great, and their percentage was great. Like they did a wonderful job. So what systems did they use? And like why did it work for them, right? Like clearly if the link was the problem, then National Academy of Computer Science wouldn't have been successful. So what systems did they put in place that Liberty and Nashville Prep didn't, that we can deploy across the network next time it's administered.
So then
So goal is,
talk to the individual teams at each school to figure out like,
yeah, I don't know how realistic it'll be since everyone's on vacation right now. But it's just like put the goal of, so vague.
communicate better.
No, I want to, let's make the goal to get a document created and codify as much as we know or can find out about the systems used at NACS. And in that document, I want to build in a live monitor plan so that as the report card pickup starts happening, right? It was from what, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.? So like 8 a.m., we need a way to count how many people have actually picked up the report card and how many surveys you take. And so 8 a.m., if it's 10 report cards picked up and 5 surveys taken, like there needs to be a plan in place to like call them at 8 a.m. and say we're at 50%, we need to be at 72%, what's going on, what can we do? Like, because then we fix it, and even though the percentage was bad initially, we fixed the actual number scale because like we addressed the problem.
And another thing that Catherine, she talked to me right before report card pickup that said, is there a way for like Google Forms to generate like a code for parents so that they can like say this was my code, so I filled it out, and now you know, and I can like because they wanted to incentivize it, and I said we should just exchange the report card for that code, but that was not in the original. That they did not want to do that.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want a lot of anger. Because so that just made me think about when we start administering it on our own site, that
Yep.
we need to create a random code generator that's like, you've completed the survey, here you go. And have the ops teams have access to, I guess, the database or like CSV file, I know, that had that code.
I still don't understand every class, the report card you pick up from your advisor. So I still don't understand why each room doesn't just have a computer and whoever's waiting in line fills it out.
Because the teachers are meeting with parents individually inside of them. All the other parents are waiting outside. So
Yeah.
you're not going to want to talk to your parents. And I asked them to do
I
it.
just mean in the hallway outside the door.
Yeah, I think that's where the problem is. Like when they first set them up, they put the Bitly link in, and then afterwards, like parents filled it out, and then they just like walk by and were like, well, I can't take it now. And so there was just not enough monitoring happening inside the actual hallways to like reset it.
Fascinating. Got it. Okay.
But that's my guess.
So goal, make a document, codify what worked at NACS, and come up with a plan and have it put in the document by this time next week of how we can live monitor the ratio of report cards picked up versus surveys taken. Great. Moving forward, objectives in the school runner. I definitely think that process has to start.
So I think the right part for this week should be figure out what the template is for school runner, share it with Will and I, or I don't know how much you want to do, or like at one in the packet. So I would share it with you.
Figure out template, make sure that the curriculum writers have the template, and that just you'll email the curriculum writers and say this is the template for strands, standards, and objectives. This is how school learner needs it. This is also what's going to happen in the shared curriculum side. Alternately, ooh, there's a curveball. Alternately, if you want to enter your strands, standards, and objectives through the shared curriculum platform, we will automatically generate the CSV export that is in the format that school learner needs. On you. That won't be hard. I'll do it. But that's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. I know. We will bribe you into our platform.
And then,
Wonderful.
so
So
I'm waiting for Rocky to get back to me on when people know.
let's make a goal, right? Let's make a goal of having all school runner training scheduled on a calendar by this time next week. Knowing that it may not be or error if that goal is not attained. But let's make it the goal. I want to get that scheduled and done.
said for this time next week. And then computers, OneDrive.
I need to, goal for me this week. Is to finish. I need to email all ops and confirm that all computers have been ordered. I need to finish. Finish IT and OneDrive training and send to Rachel for review. I'm almost done with that. Help ticket system, Trello. And finish all data transfer for server to OneDrive. Anything missing here? Team name change, data and technology instead of data and learning. Makes way more sense, right? Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Obviously, we have to have technology in there somewhere, seeing as how we're now like a part of the IT world. I think I already changed it, didn't I? Data tech. That'll be like our short name. Yeah. We'll officially be data technology, but then be cool.
It says data and learning. I just don't know.
It is a listing because this is a public board, you're right.
No, don't leave board.
Yeah, there's an additional settings here. Okay. I should put my name on this.
I phoned my friend who got married this weekend. She got married to a man named Ryan. And I just kept saying, good luck to you and Ryan. And then it would just automatically go capital R, capital Y, because of the concept.
Nice.
I just super excited.
Okay. We good? Questions? Yeah, we need to say. All right, awesome. Great meeting. Thank you guys so much. Ian, it's wonderful to have you back. Will, it's had to lose you for a week, but I hope you have a wonderful and relaxing time. Congratulations on getting a new apartment. Thank you. That doesn't have a kitchen.
I know. 15 minutes away.
Oh, that's
So,
good. Oh, cool. So now you don't have to sit in your office.
Now I don't have a partner that I could be in this room with. So we sit on I-24.
Ben Ross said he lived in the same apartment complex.
He does. I've seen him.
Cool.
Open kind
What else? Oh, okay. So tomorrow, will you send, as soon as we're done, can you send me the invites for what time we're meeting tomorrow? Because I told Caitlin that we'll be going to the old office later. She's got her dad's stuff over there. So, and she's not here on Friday, so it's just
Cool.
yeah. And then I guess Victoria just emailed us about moving all the trash out of the halls.
Yep. Let's go.
I guess I should start figuring out
Let's
what
go
office
help.
managing is.
Oh yeah, we should. We should have a conversation about that. We should make a Trello office management board and require everything that needs to be done to put in.
Yeah.
Bye, Rachel.
Bye.